For good food, you don't need an oven, just the outdoors and an open flame. So gather around, let's cook a little something, the way we do it at the Campfire Cafe. We're at the Campfire Cafe. So what you say? We get them flames a-flying. You'll love the way it's gonna taste, that gourmet campfire cuisine.
Wow, we've got a table full. What are we making today?
We're making stuffed meatloaf.
Really?
Yeah, the ain't plain stuffed meatloaf.
Pam, none of your meatloafs are plain.
That's right. Well, this one is definitely not plain. It is fabulous. And folks, we're actually making 2 meatloafs today.
Oh, good. I get to make one.
Yes, you get to make one, and I'm going to make one. They're going to be exactly the same, but this is a big crew, and when you make this meatloaf, you really want to have an extra one because the sandwiches the next day are dynamite.
So it's not going to be like dueling meatloafs?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to guide you every step of the way.
Oh, okay. I can't ad-lib anything?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just checking.
No, you don't want to ad-lib. This is a great recipe.
I'll take your word for it. All of them are.
Well, to get started with this meatloaf, we're going to combine our meat. And I always like to use a lean ground beef and an Italian sausage.
Now, this is a mild Italian sausage,
Yes,
correct?
it's a mild Italian sausage. You don't want it too hot. Just want that
Really?
nice flavor.
I don't see any jalapenos out here. We could add a little fire.
I know, but this is my meatloaf recipe.
Okay.
So we're going to get a bigger bowl and crumble this meat up into this bigger bowl. So let's get to that first. This is a lot of meat. You can never have too much meatloaf.
No, makes great sandwiches, hot or cold.
Well, even if you made 2 and put 1 in the freezer,
Yeah?
it would freeze beautifully. And then, you know, when you're busy one day and you don't have time to cook, pull that out, thaw it, and you're good to go.
Yeah. I noticed you're using extra lean beef
Yes.
because the sausage has a little grease to it, correct?
Yes.
Of course, we usually use extra lean anyway, but
I like the extra lean. I don't like the just totally lean
Yeah.
because it just doesn't have any fat in it at all.
now, how did you tear up 4 pounds quicker than I tore up 2 pounds?
If only we could figure out how. We'd save so much time, wouldn't we?
Well, I guess we would, yeah.
Now I'm just going to start mixing this and get your sausage worked into my ground beef. It's hard to pinch up sausage like
Yeah.
that's why it took you so long, Larry, because it doesn't fall apart good like
Not
the
like
beef.
the beef.
Now, why don't you crack me a couple of eggs in here?
I can do that.
I guess I get the fun part today.
I guess.
You're going to get your hands in it.
Whoops, whoops, whoops. I got some shell in there.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Don't want any shell in our meatloaf. And now let's have those crackers. I'm just using some Butter Crisp crackers. They're, I think they're the Keebler brand. And I really like them because that Butter Crisp adds a better flavor, I think, than just plain old saltines. And I rarely use bread crumbs in my meatloaf because I think it makes it mushy.
You don't use oatmeal either, do you?
No,
much?
I don't like oatmeal that much.
My mom always used oatmeal in there.
A lot of people do. I just don't care for the texture it gives, and I really like the crackers. Oop.
Escapee.
Go ahead there.
All right.
Now let's go with our seasonings. And we've got our good old standby Mrs. Dash.
Yes, we do. And that always goes in just about everything.
It really does. Such a good allspice. And we've got our garlic butter, which also pretty much goes in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can crank us some salt and pepper in here.
Okay.
And that's just to taste. Just whatever, however much you like.
Now, I usually don't put enough salt for you.
No, I know. So keep going. This is a big thing of meatloaf.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do. That ought to do it. And now we can start with some of the good stuff. But before we do that, let's put the milk in.
Okay.
We're going to put a couple of tablespoons of milk, probably more like 3 tablespoons for this big bowl. And that's going to give us a little moisture. Oh, yeah. And for some more moisture, we're going to put in some ketchup. And we're going to put in some A1 steak sauce.
Ooh, all right.
Tell me that's not smelling good already.
It's smelling good.
And let's get those onions in there. Chopped onions. Those of you who have watched the show more than once, or even once, know that onions go in just about everything I'm making,
Yep.
sometimes more than once.
Onions, garlic. Those are for sure. Those are staples, aren't they?
If you're cooking at the Campfire Cafe, you better like onions. Okay, well that's got our meatloaf all mixed up. Now I'm going to wash my hands and we'll be right back and show you what we're going to do with it next. Well, we're back and we're ready to put these meatloaves together.
Okay, I'm going to spray these pans.
Okay. That's just going to give it just that little added insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always a good idea.
We really don't have much trouble with any of these pans sticking, though, you know it?
No, but that could be because they're good pans or because we always spray.
Usually spray them. Yeah, it could be.
Hard to say. So we don't want to mess with our formula. So now we're going to half this. Just kind of move it aside so we can get, there's your half. Now we're going to take half. Now you get to play.
Now I get to get into it.
Like Play-Doh. First you want to
go.
make a ball. A really nice, compact ball. It doesn't have to be exactly half.
Well, I just was, you know.
Now you want to start shaping it into like a loaf.
Your loaf's a little flatter than mine.
Well, you're going to have to get yours flat. And you don't want any breaks in the sides there.
Yeah.
So once you get it kind of flattened out, then you can put it in your pan. Now that we got it in the pan, we're going to very gently make a well on the top of it. Like this. See?
Okay.
A well, a dent, whatever you want to call it.
That's what we're going to stuff then, huh?
That's where we're going to put the stuffing. And this is so much easier than doing that jelly roll deal.
That jelly roll got, every now and then we get just a little.
Well, it gets out of hand
tough.
Unless you're making a baby meatloaf.
Yeah.
Okay, so see how we've got a little flat?
I think I sort of got that.
Yeah, that's looking, it's looking pretty good.
Oh.
We've got some really thinly sliced Valdalia onions.
Oh, man.
We're gonna layer those down and just, you can kind of mash them actually down into that bottom. Okay, now give them a little mash so that your sides
Still there.
come up some higher.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of stuff to put in this thing.
Okay.
There we go. See, that helps you.
Yeah.
If you put your whole hand up like that
Yeah.
and just give it a mash, see, now you get a little height on the sides. Okay, let's do some of those baby Bella mushrooms there.
Ah.
We can just move this out of the way for
We're
the
gonna
moment.
we're gonna layer those just like the onions.
Yes, and
Cool.
try to get them as flat as you can so you can get more in. You don't want to be too stingy with the mushrooms.
No. They cook down pretty good anyway.
Yes, they do. Okay, so now we have enough mushrooms. You got enough mushrooms?
I think so. I got quite a few in there.
Okay. Then we will now put some provolone cheese. This is the good stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
Now you don't want to exceed the side of your meatloaf there. So if you need to trim yours because it's a little,
Okay.
that works.
That does.
We'll be right back after these messages and finish up this meatloaf.
Visit our website for instructional DVDs, recipes. So log on to campfirecafe.com. While you're there, be sure to download some of the recipes featured on the show. We hope you and your family enjoy the shows and become inspired to start your own Campfire Cafe.
Well, we're back, and it's time to finish up these meatloaves so we can get on to our next recipe, which is a baked potato salad. So, Larry, there's your half.
All right. Now, am I going to put a well in this too?
No,
Okay, because I was going to say, I didn't think.
nope. Now this one, once you get it sealed, then you can just start slowly making it into a loaf, or an oval in your case. Okay, so now that I've got this indentation, I'm going to put this right over the top of that. Okay, and then I'm going to seal all the sides.
Well, my indentation ended up on both sides.
Well, that's all right. We'll sort it out. And like you said off camera, so we don't have any levee breaches, I'm going to really make sure that I seal the sides. So you want to make sure that you get everything sealed up, because that's where the cheese will leak out. The more uniform I can get it in shape, the more uniform the pieces we cut from it will be. Okay, so that's one meatloaf done. I think that's a fine looking meatloaf, Larry.
See?
I'm proud of you.
Hey?
And it doesn't look like you have any breaches.
Not yet.
Okay, so one more thing to do.
Top it with the sauce.
And what we have here is 1 can of tomato paste, the little small cans, mixed with half a can of water.
That's it, huh?
That's it. And I'm going to use half of it. And it's very thick, so you just want to spread this right on the top. You don't want to have to worry about the sides. If some oozes over, that's not a big deal, but you don't want to try to paint the sides.
Okay, so it's not like icing a cake.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I think that looks pretty good.
I'll be curious to see how these come out now.
Now it's time to put them on the grill, but first we've got to make our baked potato salad. And we've got some baked Yukon Gold potatoes. They're already baked and they're already cooled, so I can cut them up easily.
Good. Those ones we did the other day were a little warm.
The sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
I remember that.
I'm going to start with the dressing then.
Okay.
Some sour cream. Mayonnaise. Red wine vinegar. And some Dijon mustard. I'm going to whisk that together.
It's a great recipe to make when you have leftover baked potatoes.
I'm only going to add half of these green onions here because we need some for topping, right?
Right.
And got the same with the bacon. Ooh, that looks good.
You stay out of that bacon.
Done it. And same with the cheese. Maybe just a little more cheese. Now I'm going to just fold this together. I'm not going to really beat this up.
Really?
Like I usually do.
It's finally paying off. All my years of hard work.
Yeah. See, a few years ago, I'd have just whisked the heck out of this thing.
Yes, you would. And I got to tell you, folks, it was fear that finally worked.
Yes.
You got that all mixed together?
I got her done.
Okay. I like the Yukon Golds because the skin gets a little crunchy, and that adds a nice texture.
This will go really good with that meatloaf.
Yes, it will. And it's a departure from the ordinary mashed potatoes. Okay, so that's got our potatoes cut up. And now I'm going to put some seasoning on those potatoes first. I've got a little garlic pepper, not garlic butter this time.
Garlic pepper this time, huh?
And I'm just going to toss those. And then why don't you put the rest of the spices in? We've got some parsley. Oh, that's smelling good. And we've got a little
paprika.
Okay, and what's that last one there?
Celery salt.
All right. Get our potatoes seasoned.
Well, those do smell good already.
It's now time to put the dressing on this salad. And I can tell you, since Larry has licked the spatula he used to make this, he's given it the A-OK, so we already know this is going to be good. Oh, yes. We're going to put it in a smaller dish. And we're going to put some of the cheese. And some of the green onions. And last but not least, the bacon, which I had to fight the crew from eating during the downtime. It's very dangerous to leave crisp bacon sitting around on this set. And that has it. We have a beautiful, delicious baked potato salad. Our meatloaves are ready, and we're ready to take those down to the fire, and we're going to grill some pears. Well, it's time to get our meatloaves on the grill.
All right.
We've got it heated up to about 500 degrees, but once we open it, that's going to back down a little bit, and we want it to be at about 350. So we're going to put the first one up here on the top rack. And the second one. Now what we're doing is we're putting these on our top warming rack. The reason is we don't want the bottom of our meatloaves to burn. So we're not putting them on direct heat. So let's close it and get these bad boys baking, Larry.
All right, I'm ready.
We've got these lovely red pears, and we're going to slice these pears and core them and get them ready to grill. Larry's got some butter. What else you got there, Larry?
Well, I've got a little vanilla here.
Good.
I can just pour that in there. And some cinnamon. We'll just dump that in and swirl that around a little bit.
There, that's getting it mixed up. Okay, now Larry's just going to pour that butter right on our pears. Just drizzle it all over.
All right.
Now what you want to do is make sure your pears are all coated with the butter, cinnamon, and vanilla. Make sure each one of them is coated. And then we're going to just put this brown sugar right on top. Now that they're a little wet from the butter, the brown sugar will stick, and I'm going to have to get in here with my hands. And just get every pear coated. And now these are ready to go to the grill. So we're going to put the pears on a side of the wedge. And I have the burners on either side on. I do not have the burners directly under the pears on. Boy, those meatloaves are looking good.
I got it.
Now I'll give this leftover sauce to Larry, and we're going to bring that to a boil and pour it over our finished pears. Grilling pears is really a nice way to bring out the full flavor. The heat will release the juices in the pear, and you just don't want to overcook them. You want them to stay a little firm, but soften up and release that juice. I think these pears, at least some of them, are ready to come off the grill. Okay, that's got our pears done, and our meatloaves are continuing to cook, and they're just about done. So let's see what else we can do to these pears while the meatloaves finish.
I'm going to heat our butter and sugar sauce for our glazed pears. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then remove it and let it cool.
We invite you to visit our website at campfirecafe.com. You can turn out gourmet meals in the backyard at your own Campfire Cafe. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dessert, you can cook it all right over the open fire. Visit our website for instructional DVDs, recipes. So log on to campfirecafe.com. While you're there, be sure to download some of the recipes featured on the show. We hope you and your family enjoy the shows and become inspired to start your own Campfire Cafe.
Oh, Larry, it's time to pull those meatloaves.
I think I'll try mine first just to see.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's perfect.
Hey,
That looks perfect.
look at that. My dam's held up, no leakage.
Yep, no levee breaches.
Nope, no levee breaches.
Larry, I think that looks like another great meal.
You bet. Right here at the Campfire Cafe.
And we're pulling this one, and we're eating, and we wish you were here.
Or not.
Thank goodness we made two.
Yes.
Oh, Larry, this looks really good.
Oh yeah, it really does.
Now what I've got here is a little of the honey jack. And I'm going to drizzle that on the pears.
Yeah, and I get to drizzle this.
And you get to drizzle that.
Ooh, that looks pretty good.
Now that looks like a delicious dessert. Well, the meatloaves turned out just the way we like them, and they'll make great sandwiches if there's any left. Before we go today, I'd like to thank all of you who appreciate us cooking on the gas grill for a change. We've taken some heat, pun intended, from loyal viewers who want us to go back over the campfire. But things change, and while you'll be seeing some campfire recipes in the future, we hope you'll realize the recipes in this series can easily be cooked over the open campfire. Thanks for tuning in.